are watching the Meika Safehouse channel on TVU. Meika Safehouse, a bird rehabilitation and rehoming center based in Sherwood Park, Alberta. Meika Safehouse provides a safe and loving environment for birds in need.
Well, what you're going to do here?
No.
Go ahead.
I can go ahead?
Yep.
All right. Come on, Rocky, get off. Under my knee. Thank you. I know. It'll take Rocky.
Oh, look at that. Good boy.
There. It came on for a second. There it is.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
All right.
So just describe the process again.
Yep, for sure. Are we going?
Yep.
All right. So basically, what we're doing is we're doing a nail trim with a blue and gold macaw named Rocky. Just going to quickly go through this. Something that we have to always be wary of is that in the bird's foot there's a bunch of little bones, and because all these bones are hollow, you have to be very gentle when you're manipulating their toes. You don't want to just be pulling and yanking to get the toe to go where you want to go, because it's very easy to accidentally break a bird's toe. So what we're doing is we're just taking a quick look at the nails, see what we can do quickly and what we can do slowly. And I see this one is just a little long, so I'm just going to quickly just take the majority of the nail off with the clipper, and then with the Dremel, I'm just going to shape the nail a little bit, and take any of the real sharp points off. And then we can do this quickly. If you look at this nail here, it's hard to see, but you can see that it's crooked, and that's because the nail's been overgrown and just getting pushed to the side. It's not a bad thing necessarily. It just means that it's time to clean it up a little bit and come in for a nail trim. Nail trims. Nail trimming. I'm just going to reposition this because I'm losing control quickly. All right, there we go. Nail trimming is something that is just part of regular grooming when you have a bird. It's something you're going to probably do maybe once or twice a year, depending on the bird's environment. It may need to be done more often. But usually I would say once or twice a year is probably all you need to do. I find a lot of people tend to want to keep the toenails on their birds a little on the short side. Problem with keeping the toenail too short is that they get really, really sharp because they're not using their nails. If you let the toenail grow a little bit longer, then it's very simple to keep them a little bit duller, so they're not tearing you apart when they run up your arm. Same thing. I'm just taking a little bit of the really long stuff off quickly, and just to make it so I'm not having to Dremel too much material. I don't know for sure, but I imagine that if I were to Dremel all the way up the nail, I think it would generate a bunch of heat and it'd be pretty uncomfortable for the birds. So we just want to go as quickly and as easily as possible, and just tidy. All we're doing is tidying up the cuts that we made with the clippers. Oh, don't be angry. Almost done. We do have to be aware that there's a blood vessel in there, and we don't want to get too close to the blood vessel, and of course we don't want the bird to bleed unless we're doing a DNA. If we were doing a DNA test, we would clip that nail right down to the blood vessel and collect a blood sample, but that's not what we're doing today. And Rocky is all done, and Rocky can come out. Rocky is an egg layer, so we're going to see Rocky's missing a little bit of feathers, but that's normal for Rocky. Right? There you go. Good job, Rocky. Yeah, I know. Don't bite me. Don't bite me. I don't. Hey, always. There we go.
This is a very unique suet feeder. It's designed so that the birds that love suet, which are the chickadees, nuthatches, woodpeckers, can get at it, but it's very difficult for birds like magpies and even perhaps the squirrels, because you have to be hanging upside down to feed from this particular suet feeder. So that's
They have to hang upside down to eat
Yeah,
out
it's
of
an
it.
upside down feeder. So,
upside down feeder.
so as it's hanging like that, you know, slip your suet cake inside here. And as it's hanging, then you'll see the little nuthatches, especially in Sherwood Park where we have lots of nuthatches in the area. They look like chickadees, but they'll be walking upside down eating the suet.
That's so cool.
Other nice little feeder that we have is this is just a fly-through feeder. This one happens to stick to your window, right? So you can stick that right onto your window and maybe put some peanuts in here, and then that'd be great for blue jays or some of the other birds. This is the one that we very popular here. Is a squirrel buster. And the way this thing works is your small birds can stand on this ring and eat the food at will, but as soon as the squirrel comes along, that falls down and
It's too heavy for them.
the squirrels are too heavy, right? So it turns the food right off.
And
That's
there's
so
a comment about this ring too.
Yeah.
You can take it off and just have the perches, but this ring is set up for cardinals, because cardinals have really big feet. This way they can sit there. And we didn't used to have cardinals here, but with the
weather.
change of the bird habitats and things, and the cardinals have moved west and they're multiplying, especially in
Wonderful.
Sherwood Park.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That's one, and then we also have just, some pretty decorative little feeders, very functional, and really easy simple to use, right? So that's one thing I always think about is then it's, 30 below, and you notice that your bird feeder's empty, and you have to tromp through to get to the feeder. You don't want to be fumbling around with it for very long. So this is a very nice and simple one to use. You just push the little button, lift the lid up, pour the food in, push the button again, and then you're done.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
One more?
Oh yeah. And that's it. This is another thing. This is something that's it's not new, but it's actually really bright. When it comes to these seed logs that they're held together by a gelatin, they're not suet, but there's a lot less waste because the birds just can't throw it, flick it all over the place. What they have to do is they actually land on a thing like this, and they have to eat, right? So you'll find that a seed cylinder will last a lot longer than that amount of seed just loose. So
That hangs or that sits on a picnic table?
It has a hole in it, so it sits right on this tube,
yeah,
this spike, and the birds can perch out.
those end up being purchased.
Yeah.
In this
You
time,
can also hang it by this net too.
Yeah.
this time of COVID, it helps turn your backyard into like something very interesting.
Yeah. Well,
Instead of just watching these things go by now, you can get involved with them.
Oh, and if you do catch the birding bug, which is it's a real thing, you can sit with the field guide in your backyard and really sit there and pick out what kind of bird is this, what kind of bird is that. It becomes to be a real thing, and then next thing you know, you're standing out at the grain elevators watching falcons at 30 below, and that's when you hit the big time when it comes to birding.
Okay.
Oh, here's another suet feeder. This is for suet balls, single suet balls, and yeah, it works perfect. You just skewer the suet ball on here, hang it up, and yeah.
And then all sorts of different little, it can do the ones that want to crawl, go upside down. It can do the ones from up top.
Absolutely.
And that one's very introductory. It looks like a very introductory little feeder.
Simple feeder, but really effective feeder.
Yeah, it's called a satellite.
Yeah.
Satellite. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's it?
I think so.
Okay.
I think that's a good.
Okay. Mario, you should grab Gaia. Okay.
Go!
What are we saying?
All right. So,
Are we on?
this is how it goes.
Okay.
So, what we're going to do is we're just going to tell you a little bit about Meika's Safehouse. So, with parrots are probably one of the largest groups of animals that are rehomed pets,
Like,
right?
yeah, the pet trade.
In the pet industry.
Yeah.
People don't realize how old they get. People don't understand the emotional needs that some of these animals have.
They don't realize that they bite.
They don't realize that they bite, or they get their feelings hurt because they get bitten. And it's usually just a communication misunderstanding. But anyways, so what Safehouse is a place where people will relinquish their animals for whatever reason. Everything from they don't have time for the animal, they're moving and can't keep the animal.
Owner passed away.
Owners passed away.
Yeah.
And all these reasons.
Yeah.
And these birds have come to us. We also work with the Edmonton Humane Society and Animal Care and Control. If they have birds that aren't claimed, they'll transfer them over to us. And so what we do here is basically we have the birds, we make sure that they're physically healthy, mentally healthy, and from that point on, then we can look at finding the birds' homes. And matching birds with people's expectations. So it's a little like a matchmaking service, right? So there's a lot of birds here that'll be very good for, say, Janine, but would not be a bird that matches maybe my lifestyle or somebody else's lifestyle. So it's very important that we take the time to go through the whole process with every animal.
Yeah, so another thing that you need to know is you can't just come in here and say, I want that bird, and then take it home that day. There is a process, there is an application form. The birds do get vet checked and microchipped, and we do a house visit, but right now because of COVID, we can't physically go to people's houses, so we're doing Zoom meetings at this point until things change. So we try our best to make sure that we are setting up families for a successful adoption.
Yeah.
With all of our adoptions, we also give 3 months. So birds, they tend to get, a little upset, disheveled when they're moved around. So a 3-month period gives them a chance to settle in and know the routine, and you get to kind of get to know the bird a little bit before fully committing. So if it doesn't work out, then you bring the bird back with their cage, and we refund the adoption fee. So
Yeah.
we try and make it as easy and
We want it to be a success for both parties. We want the bird to have a successful home, and we want the people to have a successful relationship with their companion animal.
yeah.
And now with the new Meika's Safehouse channel and companies and organizations getting involved in corporate sponsorship ads, the majority of that money's going to begin to flow into Meika's Safehouse. What's the plans? Like, as new funding comes in, of course, taking care of what you're doing. So
Yeah.
maybe to talk a little bit about what where your costs are with your food and stuff, and then what your vision is.
Yeah. The major costs that we run into are usually medical bills, right? So a lot of these birds require vet visits and multiple vet visits to get them healthy. Lou's a prime example. He's going to be I'm just going to take a guess at this, but I'm thinking he's going to be with us at least a year to get his metabolism kicking again.
Yeah, I don't know if you could see well on the camera, but he had some kind of a dietary issue at some point in his life here, and his feather quality is really bad. He also had like a severe vitamin A deficiency. So when we took him to the vet, we got a prescription for vitamin A, and he had a little bit of liver issues. So he's been on milk thistle for about, 3 months now.
2 months anyways, yeah.
2 months, whatever, either way. But yeah, so like just to get his body built up again.
So that's one of the major costs that we run into is with the medical costs. We also run into situations where, especially if birds are transferred over from the Humane Society or Animal Care and Control, they don't have a home. So we need to purchase cages for these birds, and so that's another.
Cages like that.
Cages like that. That's $800.
Yeah. Each. Yeah.
Just for the cage.
Yeah.
And the food is another ongoing cost. It's a pretty steady cost.
Yeah, because it's not only just bird seed. You have to feed them fresh fruits and vegetables and pellets and seeds and nuts and dried fruit. So there's all kinds of different supplements and stuff. Like his milk thistle supplement costs $40. So that will last about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So there is medical expenses. So yeah, with money that we receive in Safehouse, we are looking towards getting a bigger facility. We are looking to expand how many birds we can take in, and maybe hire a full-time employee to come and work with the birds and clean up and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
and larger enclosures, so for these guys while they're here, because as much as I I like the enclosures they're in, I would really like them to be in something bigger, because we don't know how long they're going to be with us, right? And so if we can give them and especially some of the birds that have kind of a traumatic kind of a reaction to being in confined, if we could give them a nicer, larger habitat to live in, we could maybe see some different behaviors, and we could maybe work with to get them ready to go into somebody's home.
And how big of the demand is it? Because you guys take in wild birds. There's also the parrots and other house birds.
Yeah.
How many birds do you turn away?
I turn away on average. I'm going to say I turn away probably about 10 birds a week. It's
a tough gig, because we hate doing it. We hate having to turn away a bird in need, and we try really hard to work with the people that are surrendering. Like, okay, give us a week, give us give us a couple days, and sometimes they can't. So
yeah, I almost always say no if they have to do it right now, because if it's got to be right now, then
it's tough for us.
Not only is it tough for us, but a lot of time that's kind of an emotional response. So maybe they've gotten bit and they're mad, and they and they just need the bird out of their face. If you give them a chance to calm down, give me a call tomorrow if you're still feeling this way. We'll figure out a schedule so we can bring the bird in. We always have to leave space available for birds that are emergency things.
Because we do get calls for hoarding situations where we have taken in 80 and 30 and 50 birds at a time. So
Wow.
there are those situations as well.
Yeah, and we always have to have a space available for that. So we have to be very careful not to overload ourselves, and then to get to the point where we're not helpful for the real emergencies.
So every single business that participates, their funds go do a lot of help.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, and
huge help.
so far this year we've taken in over 200 parrots.
Yeah.
So it does help.
It helps a lot. And then
That's a lot of birds.
when there's especially the extreme situations where we've had people that have passed away and the birds have been with the dead body or whatever for days before anything's been those
That
birds
happened recently. We had a cockatoo like that.
that's a recent one. So this is this is something that's real. These guys live a long time. There's it's just one of those things, and you have to be prepared for scary, kind of really fast things that can happen just like that, right?
So this is good for businesses, because they're helping something that's just amazing, but also for them, they're getting ads on the Meika Safehouse channel.
Absolutely.
And also banners. So that goes a long way to encouraging you, but also encouraging them.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, we appreciate any and all the help.
Anything to help we can get, we
Yeah.
definitely appreciate. We can look at partnering up on other options too. If there's things that people want, maybe they want to have their a pamphlet of an information package, displayed here at Safehouse, where people can just take something and then take it with them when they're looking at the birds. So yeah, for sure.
Now we also have links to direct donation. Like, say if a company doesn't want to do the full amount, they can donate directly to Meika Safehouse. We'll talk a little bit about that.
For sure. So there's different ways to donate. There is on our website, and there's links to our website. And it basically takes us to the GoFundMe page, I believe.
That's right.
People can just go in there and $5, $10, whatever they want to do.
Every little bit helps.
Yeah, can go straight onto the GoFundMe.
Yeah.
So
Birds require a lot of enrichment as well, so they use up toys like crazy, and especially the bigger birds like the macaws and the Amazons and the grays, they can chew up a $40 toy in 10 minutes. So
and they do.
so to keep them entertained, it's very costly, right, Lou? Yes, it's very costly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And anything else that you'd like to say? Because this is people who are looking at your information, they're considering it, now they're watching this video.
Yeah, well, I mean, we just want to thank anybody who
even considers,
who
you
even
know,
considers.
even if you share,
Yeah,
you know.
share our links, share you know, the information.
We're
Drive as
helpful.
many people to the channel as you can, so we can get the word out, and the more help we can get, the better we can do for these birds.
Mhm.
All right. Well, if you guys are in the area until Halloween time, you can always bring your birds down and come down and take some pictures of your bird on the pirate ship here, Meika's. Some of them don't seem to have a problem with crawling all over the bowsprit, so it's he won't go on the pirate.
He won't go on there.
But anyways, these are the enrichment toys that we were talking about. This is something that there's no shortage here at Meika's of bird toys. And we have all kinds, everything from fairly small all the way up to really large. This toy here would take a bird like Tico here probably a week to go through, I would hope. One like this, maybe not so long. But
And when you say go through, what are they doing?
he'll just tear it apart. So
Really?
He'll make wood
They
shaving.
shred, yeah, they shred with their beaks. Their beaks constantly grow, so they need stuff, just like a hamster's teeth or a beaver's teeth.
Yeah,
They always grow, so they always need something to chew on to help file that down.
yeah.
And you got mugs and
All kinds of mugs.
Comical mugs.
Yeah, comical ones. This one says, calm down, we'll make it look like an accident. We have that. We have the grin and parrot mugs. We have, mugs with a cockatiel on it that say teal with it. So there's all kinds of mugs that come down and take a look.
Mugs, foraging toys. Another thing about enrichment is keeping not only their beaks busy, but their minds busy. So you grab some of the foraging or I'm getting really close. Foraging toys, so birds that really like to find their food. You know, in the wild, they spend most of their days searching for food on the ground, in trees, you know. So in a cage, if you're presenting their food in a dish, there's nothing for them to do for the rest of the day. So if you hide their food in fun toys like that, they can spend a lot of their time looking for things versus screaming or pulling their feathers out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Oh, there's a
What do you mean?
seed skull. And that just goes with the pirate ship. So if anybody's interested in any of the seed skulls, we'll have those here until they run out.
While supplies last.
Well, supplies last. That's the one I'm looking at.
good? All good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.